Hello, viewers. Once again, Mr. Victor shelters with Learning Substance Tutors. This time around, we'll do something different. I'm going to show you how to sketch a quadratic function in a very easy, simplified way. Okay. Now, this is what you do. So I have a quadratic equation on the board. So that's 2x squared minus 2x minus 24. So we are not solving. So what I'll just do is remove the equation sign to make it an expression. So we're going to sketch this expression on a graph. Now this is what you do. Now we already know this gives us the y-intercept. Negative 24 is the so y-intercept already you have it. Sorry, I just messed up. So the y-intercept we already know is negative 24. Now, by y-intercept, we mean the point where the line crosses through the y-axis. So the y-intercept is negative 24. Okay. Now, the other thing we need to find is the 2x intercepts. The 2x intercepts, so we need the y-intercept, x-intercepts. X-intercepts, of course, there are 2 points. And then you need to get the minimum or the maximum point. You also need to get either if our graph is a minimum or a maximum. So we need to get the minimum or maximum point and its coordinates. So those are the 3 things we need: y-intercept, x-intercept, the minimum and the maximum or the maximum point and its coordinates. Now quickly, let's get the intercepts, the x-intercept. So we already have the y-intercept, check. So now we need now the x-intercepts. So now this is what you're going to do. We're going to factorize this equation. So we take 2, we multiply by 24. In the previous video, I showed you how to factorize this whenever you have a coefficient of x squared. So you need to multiply it with a constant. So we're going to look for 2 numbers that are going to give us a product of negative 48. And the same 2 numbers are going to give us a sum of negative 2. So you can either use the factor tree method to give you all the possible combinations. But now if you know your tables well, then you can use your knowledge of the tables. So let's say if you take 6 and 8, 6 and 8 gives us 48, right? Yeah, of course, actually you have the 2 numbers. The first number is 6 and the other number is 8. So 6 and the other number is 8. But now if we add them, they need to give us negative 2. So it means the 8 is negative. All right. Now the 2 numbers replace the 2x, and we have 2x squared minus 6x minus 8x and 8x minus 24. So we have that. And then we group those two. Oh, this is positive, sorry. It was positive 6x and minus 8x minus 24. Okay. Now, when you group that, what you factor out here is going to be 2x. Then what you find inside the bracket is going to be x and then plus 3. So the other bracket must equally be x plus 3 within. So it means what goes outside the bracket to be negative 8. So now once you multiply, you get back negative 8x and negative 24. So the grouping that you're going to get 2x minus 8, and then you get x plus 3. Let's just equate it to 0. Okay. Now, once you've done that, we equate the two factors to 0. So you have 2x minus 8 is equals to 0. That gives us 2x is equals to 8. And divide by 2, and x is equals to 4. We have the first solution. The second will be x plus 3 is equals to 0. And you get x is equals to negative 3. And there it is. We have the two solutions. So the two x-intercepts would be at the point 4 and the point negative 3. So we have the x and y intercepts. Now, the last thing we need to do is get the coordinates of either the maximum point or the minimum point. You don't know if this graph is going to give us a maximum or a minimum. So by maximum, we mean it forms a hill, but then with minimum, the graph forms a trough. So we are trying to get this point here, that the coordinates of either that maximum point or the minimum point, where the graph bends upwards or bends downwards. Now we're going to use completing the square method to find this. Now this is what we do. So we have 2x squared minus 2x minus 24. I'll just equate this to 0. All right. Now, the first step that you need to undertake is ensure the coefficient of x squared is 1. Now, there's a different approach we can use to do that. So I'll factor out 2 because now the coefficient of x squared was 2. So I factor out 2. And that gives me, I'll have within the bracket, x squared minus x minus 12 is equals to 0. So my bracket ends there. Okay. My next step, I take the negative 12 on the other side. I get 2 into brackets, x squared minus x is equals to 12. We're good. Now, the other step I do, I take the coefficient of x. My coefficient of x is negative 1. So I divide it by 2 and I square the results. And then I add it to both sides of the equation. Of course, this is going to give me negative 0.5 squared. Okay, so I take the coefficient of x, I repeat again, coefficient of x divided by 2, square the results, and add on both sides of the equation. So this is what I'm going to do then. So I have 2 into brackets, x squared minus x, and then is equals to, oh, I forgot to do something there. If I put the equation sign, so plus into brackets negative 0.5 squared is equals to 12. Of course, this is going to be a plus on that side. But then if you take negative 0.5 squared, it's going to give you plus 0.25. And the bracket ends there. Okay. Now, the next step, so you're going to get, just ignore this one here for simplicity, because it's a perfect square. So what you're going to get, if you factorize what you have here, which is x minus x squared minus x, and then minus 0.25, okay, it will be plus 0.25. It's simply going to give you, so let me put out the 2. I'll get x minus 0.5 squared. That's what I'm going to get. Okay, then is equals to, on this other side, I'm going to get 12.25. And remember, now this time round, I have 2 brackets. Let me use a different color. There was the first bracket we had, and now there's a second one. The second one, for which gave us the x minus 0.5 squared. And we had the first bracket ending there. I'll put it in yellow. Yeah, there. Now, the next thing you're going to do is now release this other side. We release that side from the influence of these two right here. Let's release it. So now we get rid of the yellow bracket. Now it means then I'll multiply 12.25. 12.25, I'm going to multiply it by 2. And what that is going to give me would be, so we have 12.25. We multiply it by 2. That gives us 24.5. So then my equation then becomes 2 into brackets x minus 0.5 squared is equals to 24.5 is equals to 24.5. Okay. Now, once I get that, now I'm just going to erase the left-hand side. Let me erase the left-hand side so to get more working space. I hope you're following. Let me just erase that. Erase that so to get more working space. All right. So we have that. So meaning then the equation you have is 2 into brackets x minus 0.5 squared is equals to 24.5. Is equals to 24.5. So I'm going to bring 24.5 back on the left-hand side. So then we get 2 into brackets x minus 0.5 then minus 24.5. Now what I've done, I've put my equation in the completed the square form. This is called the completed the square form. And this is going to give us the coordinates of either the maximum or the minimum point, right? Now this is how we do it then. Now, this one here will give us the x coordinate of the maximum or minimum point. And this one, negative 24.5, is already the coordinate of that particular point for the y. So let's see. So x minus 0.5 is equals to 0, and x is equals to 0.5. So you get the x coordinate of the minimum point or the maximum, and then this is going to be our y. So we just put negative 24.5. And that gives us the coordinate of the minimum point. So then we have, I'm just going to write it here, 0.5. Let me use a different color. So you have 0.5 negative 24.5. All right. So we have everything we need now to sketch. Now, when you're sketching, there isn't, you don't choose anything to do with the scale, as long as you show what is required to show the y-intercept, to show the x-intercepts, and then we show the coordinates of the maximum or minimum point. So I'm going to erase the left-hand side once again, so that I can now draw my graph. Erase even this. There. So my line. So I'll draw the y-axis. Sorry. My y-axis. I drew my y-axis. There it is. Then I drew my x-axis. There it is. So I have my y-axis and my x-axis. So that's y-axis, and this is x. So the first x-intercept So the y-intercept, you have negative 24. You just mark and you put that is negative 24. Then I have two x-intercepts. One is negative 3. I can put it right there. Negative 3. And the other one is 4. I can just put it there. That's 4. All right. Then the coordinates of the minimum point is 0.5. So my 0.5 could be 0.5 negative 24. 0.5 negative 24.5. So 0.5 could be here. So I'll just mark there and call that 0.5. So negative 24.5 would be slightly below 24. So it could be here. So it means my minimum point would be right there. Let me just put a stamp there for my minimum point. My minimum point is there. My minimum point is right there. So now let's now draw a graph. So, and there goes. Goes through there. And then goes right up. That's my graph. All right. So this is the point negative 24. And now the coordinates of my minimum point will be, I can just write them here. Maybe I'll show you an arrow for clarity. I'll call it 0.5, negative 24.5. And now this is the other point. So the x, now quadratic functions normally cut through the x-axis, either maybe form a tangent to the x-axis, or maybe not touch it at all, or touch it at 2 points. Now the 2 points where it passes through the x-axis sometimes gives us the solutions. And now that's how you sketch a graph. So you have to show the two x-intercepts if at all crosses twice. You have to show the minimum or maximum point, all right? And then you need to show the y-intercept. That's our y-intercept. That was our point negative 24. That's how you sketch a quadratic function. Now, you can easily tell if it's going to form a maximum or a minimum point, and this is how you do it. Now, if the coefficient of x squared is a positive, as it is, if it's a positive, it forms a minimum point. But then if the coefficient of x squared was a negative, then our graph would have formed a maximum point. All right. So that's how you sketch a quadratic function. Okay, that's how you sketch. Now you can leave comments in the comment section in case of any misunderstandings, and then I'll respond to them. So bye-bye.